Hi, I'm Chastity Evans with Community Bank's Loan Department, and I'm here to help you with any personal loans you may need. We help people like you every day. From automobiles, debt consolidation, or real estate, I'm here to help. Call me and let me see how Community Bank can help you.
So stop in and see us at Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County, the bank that's service-built, where common sense banking never goes out of style.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, it has been such a fun morning to be here with the residents here of Benton House with the pup therapy, and we've got Miss Margie Brown with us today. How are you, Miss Margie?
I'm fine. It's been a good day.
Very good. Now, Miss Margie, this has been a wonderful experience for all of us. We want you to kind of tell us about how it's been for you, but please tell us a little bit about yourself, if you would.
Well, I'm from Blakely, Georgia originally, and I became a widow several years ago and found that when my son moved from Blakely, I told him I was going somewhere too. And this is the best place that we looked at and I found, so I'm here. And it's been a wonderful 6 years. And I have 3 children and 6 grandchildren and 10 great-grandchildren.
Wow, that's awesome.
And 5 of the 10 grandchildren are boys is going to carry on the Brown name.
Very good.
So we're excited about that.
That's right, that family legacy.
That's right. And all my family is good people, good sound people. And so, as I told my class in 5th grade one year, I'm a millionaire. They couldn't understand the difference between money and being a millionaire. But I explained to them that family and people growing up and going through school and getting a job and being a reputable person made people millionaires.
I think that's so beautifully said. And I think family is so very important. You know, I've got a big
Yeah.
family. Now tell us, now you used to be a school teacher.
Yes, taught 4th and 5th grade level. Sometimes it was the same, like science all day long. Sometimes it was a normal classroom.
Right.
And if it wasn't normal, we got it normal
Right.
before we got too far down the road.
Absolutely.
And it was lots and lots of fun. I had a lot of fun experiences and some that I wouldn't begin to talk about too much, but most of it was fun.
Well, that's good. And now here you are, you're at the Benton House, you're amongst a lot of your friends here, you've had a wonderful experience here. And now tell us, Miss Margie, how was your time here visiting with the pups?
It was fun, lots of fun. I'm not a dog lover, but I love dogs, you know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
My daddy was a fox hunter, and he would have sometimes as many as 20 fox dogs.
Wow.
He'd have them in a big pen, and he'd have a place for each one of them, a barrel open on each end, and 2 dogs would be in that, and they all knew where their place was.
Right.
They knew where their place was at the feeding trough. He kept them shut up unless one happened to be, you know, ill or injured or something. He was a yard pet then.
Right.
And we've had, you know, yard dogs, fun dogs. And we've had dogs around, but I'm not the kind of person that wants one in the house with me all the time.
Right.
I'm too busy for other things for that.
You're
Looking
still
after somebody else's business sometimes.
That's right.
Ask Gladys.
Ask your friend. Now, and so how important would you say it is for this type business, this type, I call it a ministry because what it does to the hearts and souls of people, how important would you say that is?
Well, it gets next to you pretty quickly. And my daughter-in-law has a little puppy that's just as sweet as it can be. I don't know what kind it is now.
Yeah.
But just as sweet as it can be. And you can get involved with them pretty quickly.
You certainly did today. You made a lot of friends.
But I think I can see where that it's good to have a dog,
Yeah.
you know, as your pal and your friend, and you're responsible to you, and you're responsible for it.
That's right. Well, we thank you so much.
And I like that.
All right. Well, listen.
And it was fun.
It was.
It was.
Did you get rid of all your treats?
Yeah. No, I didn't want one of them.
That's awesome. Well, it's a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
Miss Margie, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, it is certainly a pleasure to be able to meet the residents here of Benton House and to kind of find out a little bit about themselves and their experience here with the Therapy Pups. And we've got a young lady here that's going to tell us all about herself, and we're going to talk about how today was for her. How are you?
Doing good, thank you.
Very good. Go ahead.
Okay, I have lived here in Dublin all my life. It's been a pleasure. I have always loved dogs. I've always loved dogs, and they're such much more pleasure.
Did you grow up with dogs? Like as a little girl, did you have your own little puppy?
At first, yes, and then I had one, and my dad had a meat shop, and we didn't have a doorbell. And anytime she heard a car coming, she'd let us know they were coming.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. And so tell us, you've lived here all your life here in Dublin, and what is your name?
Diane Hobbs.
Diane Hobbs. And what was your profession?
Worked out at the VA as they called a diet clerk, and so I worked out there 20 years.
20 years. That's so awesome. And your family?
Yes, my mom's passed away, but my dad's out at the VA, and he is doing good. He's out there in the, I call it the assistance living. So he's a joy out there. He's enjoy.
I bet he is.
He loves all the patients and the patients, etc.
That's good. That's good. And now here you are at the Benton House. This is such a beautiful place.
Yes,
How's your experience been here?
very good. I love it, and I've been here since it's been open, so it's been a big part of my life.
You got a lot of friends out here.
I do.
Hey, girls. And you know, just watching you interact with the dogs today, did it kind of bring back some memories for you?
But yes, they did.
Some really good memories.
Very much so.
And you know, when a lot of people don't understand about dog therapy or pup therapy, what did it do for you to have all of these beautiful dogs to come in here and they were just as gentle and loving and as warm as they could be? How was that for you?
It gave me so much joy knowing that I had someone I could talk to, someone I enjoyed. Gave me a relief, just so much joy.
And that's good, you know, because they are like a stress reliever just by rubbing them, you know, and feeding them and just seeing how they cuddle up next to you. That was just beautiful in itself.
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, very good. Well, we thank you so much for speaking to us today.
I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. This is Miss Diane, everyone. Thank you, Miss Diane.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Locke Wilford. Get more excitement, more innovation, more reasons to celebrate during Dublin Nissan's Free to Choose event.
At Dublin Nissan, you're free to choose. Nissan Altima starting at $18,988 or 72 months at 0%. All new Muranos and Rogues, 60 months with no interest.
Dublin Nissan, the only dealer you will ever need.
You know what, ladies and gentlemen, we've got this woman here that has already told me that she is a lifelong speaker. So I'm actually going to let her hold the microphone today, and we're going to talk. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Why don't
We
you-
have been looking for these puppy dogs all week. They told us a week in advance, and that was much too long ago because we just wondered every time, and all of us got out in the hall to look at them as they came in the front door. And so we have anxiously been waiting for the dog. And George, you're one of our favorites.
George is one of the puppies, dogs. We just want to make sure we let you know.
Well, he's from Decatur.
Very good. So listen, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, okay?
Well, I'm much too old for me to believe that is how old I am. And I had a birthday last week, and I was 85, and I cannot believe that. But we celebrated here for 2 days.
2 days.
And I was so worn out that I knew I was not 21 again.
Now, did they put that many candles on your cake?
No, but my cake was big enough for everybody that wanted cake came down and had cake with me, or I had cake with them, and it was delicious. Chocolate with white fluffy icing.
Oh, yummy. That's very good. And so you've had a really good experience here at Benton House, haven't you?
I surely have. I tell you, it's a home away from home, and I may get a little teary talking about it, because when you need a place like this, then this is a good place. And of course, I miss my home, and sometimes I get a little teary, but I have a few pieces of my furniture and my bed in my little apartment that I love, and I have 2 sons. One lives in Phoenix, Arizona, which is too far away just to drop by to see me.
No drive-bys.
But they had me a landline telephone put in, so I spend most of my time on my telephone.
Do you really?
They told me not to worry about it, that it was cheaper than an iPhone.
Do you know how to use an iPhone?
I was learning, but our reception, I hate to tell this is the only negative thing about the Benton House. You had to go to the front porch and sit in the rockers to get good reception.
Well, you know, when I lived way out in the country, I had to go down to the pecan tree near the mailbox to get good reception. So you don't have to go as far as I did.
Now you're trying to make me feel bad.
No. But you know what, we're so glad that you're able to keep in touch with your family. We hate that you have to go on the porch, but you say this is a home away from home, which is really a blessing. And when I walked into, just before I even came in, I thought it was just the most beautiful place ever. Then I walked in, I saw my family, the Ashleys, working here, and I'm like, this is an awesome place. And then getting to meet all of you has been a special treat.
Well, you all's appearance and bringing these precious doggies, it's just been a special, special, special treat this morning. And you could see, I think everybody that lives here is here to greet you all and the pups. And we love it. I have two sons. One lives in Phoenix, Arizona, and I talk to him 2 or 3 times a day. And my youngest, Tim, lives in Fayetteville and is a minister, and he comes occasionally. Well, he comes every Friday.
Right.
And he'll fill in the devotional.
Oh, that's
and so I love my family. I have 4 grandchildren, but my oldest lives in, it's a girl, she lives in San Francisco, not far from where that beautiful young woman was killed last week, which has made me a little nervous about her living on the wharf in San Francisco.
Yeah.
But the Lord's blessed me, and this is a wonderful place. And as I said, we're filled with memories, and having a dog back with your family and in your home for years ago is very special to us, because memories, other than if you brought your own bed, that's all we have.
Right.
And so it's wonderful to think I had a little white dog like this one right behind me. Then I had a Pekingese that looked very much like this Pomeranian over here.
Her name was Gia?
Her name was Gia, yes, and the white dog's name was Lily. And my husband adopted her, and I didn't want him to adopt a doggie because I knew that if a man brings anything home, then you're going to have to look after
That's
it.
right.
And so I told him, I said, you're going to bring that dog here, and I'm going to have to tend to it for years and years, and you're going to die and leave me with that dog. And you know what? Sure enough, he did.
Oh.
But anyway, Lily and I made it for a long time, and when she got sick, and I had to have her put down. But having a dog around is loads of fun and work.
Yes.
But they're precious, and they're like your children. They're worth it.
Absolutely. And these dogs are so well trained, Miss Hope. And, thank you so much for sharing with us today about your family, about your experience here, about the no reception from your phone. But you know what?
But good reception from on my landline.
There you go. That's what it's about. And we're so glad that your experience here with the therapy pups has been a good one. It brought back some great memories, and
You're right.
that's what it's all about.
You're exactly right.
All right.
I think about my husband who taught math and coached 35 years in a high school, and my two boys and their participation in all forms and walks of life. And the Lord has really blessed me. And then when he sent me to the Benton house, then it's just like icing on the cake.
That's exact on an 85 birthday cake.
Thank you. You were going to say years old.
I was going to say 85
I'm going to
year
put
old
your
cake.
name on running
You're gonna
for
have
president.
to. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Miss Hope. Thank you.
And thank y'all. What is your name?
My name's Pat.
Pat?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't you all love that name? Let's give Pat a hand.
Thank you, Miss Hope.
Thank you all for coming and giving us of yourself and these puppy dogs.
Yes, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Miss Hope for Vice President.
Oconee Fall Line Technical College. Are you ready?
All right, now it's time to speak with some of the young men of Benton House. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. I'm an old man of Benton House.
You're only as old as you feel, isn't that what they say?
Well, I feel younger than I am.
There you go. There you go. All right, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone, would you please?
I'm Henry Raymaker. I came here to work at the Veterans Administration. I did do a great deal of work at the Veterans Administration with the veterans, and I'm a psychologist, and Dublin's been real good to me, and I appreciate these dogs that you brought. They're wonderful, and they all are real trained and very comfortable and safe with people and back and forth. And it's wonderful that you came here because dogs have been discovered to be a great therapist. And they have helped veterans return from the war.
Right.
And they're very good for anyone who wants to love a dog and take care of a dog. I think they're really good companions. And they fill a lot of needs to people, and they get along real well with home care people.
I was going to ask you as a psychologist, of course, and you've already answered my question about the benefits of dogs. And, you know, I want to say, when I was in graduate school, we had a course where I got my master's in drama therapy, and we had one of the clinicians come in, and she brought the pups and just kind of teaching us and explaining to us the benefits of pup therapy. And you have not only, you know it as a psychologist, but also you've experienced it yourself.
Yes, and when my wife died, my surviving dog was a great comfort to me, and I think it helped me get through the death of my wife.
Right.
And they are wonderful animals that serve a purpose of therapy and companionship, and you could train a dog to help you hunt and do other things, and I advocate for taking care of our dogs.
That's right. And, you know, having worked working with soldiers and veterans and military personnel, and you understand that aspect. And I remember, of course, back when we were stationed at Fort Stewart, and a lot of the soldiers were deployed at the time, and how they found these dogs, and they became their best friends over in Iraq. If you
Yeah, that's
and
right.
they would send pictures home with them with dogs.
And they can defend you in case of emergency. And they seem to have a lot of instincts to support a person.
I grew up on a farm, and my dad had these two particular dogs that were hunting dogs. And I tell you, they were just, I mean, not only were they protective of him and of my brother, but they also were so smart.
They are. and I have a mini farm, 97 acres of acreage in Coweta County, and over the years I have learned that all animals have a great deal of their intelligence, and they're very perceptive, and they learn fast, and they're wonderful animals.
Yes, sir. And we're so glad that you're here and you were able to give your perspective as a psychologist and seeing just how beneficial pup therapy is, and what it's doing when it's bringing back memories for Miss Hope, and when they're remembering in their childhood when they had different dogs, and like with you, how it helped you through your grief.
Right.
Yeah.
That's very helpful to people when you need some companionship. That they feel a need that you don't realize till you experience it.
Absolutely. And I want to say a little personal thing. When you're talking about the VA, my sister, she passed away of cancer. She was a Marine, but she was at the hospice at the Veterans Hospital, and the chaplain, it was, I don't think that he knew much more that he could do for her. She was such a strong woman. But he brought these beautiful little black puppies in there, wheeled them in on a cart. And first of all, my family's like, what's going on here? Don't we need, but it was such a sweet thing. And my sister, in her feeble state, she just rubbed them. And then she just get nice little puppy. And it was so beautiful. And I recorded that moment.
Right.
And so I know how beneficial it is, like a stress reliever for some. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Henry.
Yeah, thank you.
This is Mr. Henry, everyone, here at the Benton House. Thank you.
Benton House. And this is a wonderful environment for people, and I could actually learn a hidden talent that I didn't know I had.
And what's that?
It's singing.
Did you want to sing before we go?
No, my mother tried to push me into music, piano and guitar, and I had 52 lessons in the guitar, and I had numerous visits to my piano teacher, and it did give me a little recognition in the third grade, because my piano teacher was a sister to my third grade teacher, and my third grade teacher had me play the piano for the third grade.
Yes.
And people didn't know I had any talent at all.
Yeah. Now, you have played it since the third grade, though, right?
No, I got a little bashful with music.
Okay.
And I left it for football.
There you go.
Because I wanted a sport that bring out the masculinity,
Yes.
not the femininity. And
You do know you could do both.
yeah, you can have both. but
You gave it up. You gave up your
I
career.
wanted to be a football star. I didn't make a star, but I did get in a few plays.
There you go. There you go.
And it did. I went into the Navy when World War II was going on, and experienced the Navy. And even in the Navy, I saw the advantages of knowing something about animals.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we thank you so much, Mr. Henry. We were hoping you were going to play something for us, but if you gave it up in the third grade, you might be a little rusty.
I gave it up after the third grade, but coming here, I made a somewhat backward movement to pick up music again.
It's never too late, you know.
Maybe, no. It's never too late to discover your hidden talent.
There you go.
And that's one thing that Benton House can do. It can reinforce interest in art.
Yes.
Because there's art teaching here, painting teaching here.
Right.
There's physical training here.
So there's a lot for everyone.
There's a lot for in this environment to rediscover that there's something useful.
Rediscover the musical part of you.
Rediscover.
Yes, because Miss Margie said you sing in the morning some.
Yeah, I do.
All right, any last words, Mr. Henry?
Well, I'm in love again.
Wait, what did you say?
I'm in love again. Even in old age, you can fall in love again.
Are you in love with someone?
Well, I think so.
Oh my God. This is hot off the press, Mr. Henry. You just made that you just made that declaration.
Yeah.
Everybody in the community knows you're in love.
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
Do you want?
I'm single.
You are. You don't want to tell us who you're in love with, though. Is that a secret?
No, that's
top secret?
Top secret.
Ladies, Mr. Henry is taken, okay? He is taken. All right. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Pick up piano again so you can play her a tune.
Yeah, well,
Not Mary Had a Little Lamb, as like the third grade.
I tried to practice on the piano, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't come back. You know what I learned to do with my fingers.
Right. Give it time. Not too much, though.
Well, I've interested so much that I don't have time to go back to music. Piano player.
You're too busy anyway.
I'm doing good to work on my voice.
Okay. Very good.
I sang one song for you, one tune for you.
Okay.
I'm in love again.
That's too sweet. That was it?
That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Henry. He's in love again. Thank you, sir. It's been a pleasure.
Hey guys, this is Kurt from Your Mattress Matters, Dublin's only premier mattress specialty store. We've already talked about the special treat that we have right now, the official Duck Dynasty recliners. As you can see, I'm in them. They're good, they're comfortable, they're priced right. You gotta come down and check them out. And while you're doing it, come on and check out our special right now. We have a King memory foam set for only $6.99. That's right, a King memory foam set, only $6.99, 100% American made and manufactured, and it comes with a full 15-year replacement warranty, only $6.99. Here at Your Mattress Matters, we deliver what everybody else promises, and that's a good night's sleep. You don't have to be a millionaire to sleep like one. Come see us at Your Mattress Matters, the Williamsburg Shopping Center.
Hi everyone, we'd like to welcome you to Real Talk. I'm your host, Pat Terrio, and we are here at the beautiful Benton house here in Dublin, Georgia, and we've got the TheraPups here, and this young lady right here is going to tell us all about her organization.
Okay, this is the Therapy Dog Program. We call ourselves TheraPups because the Therapy Dogs Incorporated doesn't allow us to use their logo, so we named ourselves TheraPups. And we have been in existence here in Dublin for as long as I've lived here, which is 8 years. And I did it before in Macon, so I have been doing it for 15 years and all. And I'm a tester observer, so I kind of lead the group because I test each dog and each handler before they're able to go on a visit.
That is fantastic. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that we are educating you all out there so that you'll have an understanding about the TheraPups. And so give us like a definition, if you could, about pet therapy and the activities.
Okay, therapy dogs are not really a new thing. We can go to any facility that invites us. We can go to schools, hospitals. We go to nursing homes or assisted living facilities. We go to the colleges to do stress relief. But the dogs assist in physical therapy. The people that when they're there, they're actively petting the dogs, or they'll walk to see the dogs. Sometimes they'll brush them or throw a ball for them. So they do physical therapy. There's also support through unconditional love. So when we go to visit children, we did a program in Macon at one of the mental health facilities, and the children there would say things to the dogs that they wouldn't tell their therapists. So that was a very moving time for us to be able to participate in that. But there's lots of things that dogs can do for people that people don't even think about. They lower blood pressure naturally when they come in. As you pet a dog, your blood pressure goes down, and that's a known fact. But there's many, many things that the dogs assist with when we go to facilities.
That is fantastic. So is there, we're looking at your dogs. There's so many different types of dogs. Is there a particular breed that's better than others to use in this for this type therapy?
We will test any breed of dog, mixed breed dogs, purebred dogs. The only breed that Therapy Dogs Incorporated will not test is a wolf hybrid or a coyote hybrid, because they can't be sure that the rabies vaccine works on them, and all of the dogs have to have all of their shots and up to date on all their inoculations.
Very good. Now tell us about this one right here. If you could hold her up just a little bit. Look at that.
This is one of the favorites. This is not my dog. This one belongs to Charlene. This is Buttons, and I say that she is the cutest Pomeranian in the world whenever I introduce her. She's also the girlfriend to my giant breed, Thor, and he is a Borzoi.
Wait a minute. This is Thor's girlfriend?
He loves her, and she loves him. Whenever they go on visits, she trots along behind him, and he always checks to be sure that Buttons is with us.
How sweet is that? And look how dolled out she is. She's got like pink bows. Did she get her nails done?
Oh, yes, they're painted pink, too.
That is so sweet. That is. Now tell us, you've got a lot of people here with you, and let's talk about, are these volunteers or these employees of your?
Oh, no. Therapy Dogs, everything is volunteer. And so we have all different breeds of dogs, and people come from all different walks of life, too. Some of us are employed, and some of us are not. And we just do this when we can do it. We have about 6 scheduled visits a month, and people just come when they can, but I try to go to all of them to make sure everybody's following the rules.
Yes. And so what is a typical visit like? So here you are today. We're here at the Benton house. What is a typical visit like at the different facilities? Because you've already told them the different places that you go. right?
Okay, a typical visit would be if when we come to the Benton house, we go to the memory care, and those are the patients who have dementia or Alzheimer's, and they do love for us to come over there. It helps stimulate their memory. They'll tell us about a dog that they had, and they enjoy coming out and petting the dogs. And when we go to come in here, you know, all the patients and residents that are here have had a dog, or most of them had, or maybe they don't even like dogs, but they come out and look at something different that they don't see every day.
Yes. And so, you know, you've got a lot of volunteers here with you. So what if someone out there, she's gone, she's probably going to find Thor. Look at her sassy woman.
Yes, she is.
Now, so if a person wanted to become involved with your agency, what do they need to do?
They need to contact, they can contact me, or they can contact Therapy Dogs Incorporated, and they will refer them to a tester observer who is closer to them. I am a tester observer for a 50-mile radius, so I can, I've gone as far as Statesboro. But the person who's interested, they have to pass a test. They have initial testing, is what we call it. The dog is tested on how well they walk on a leash, how well they get along with other dogs, and how well the handler can actually handle the dog. We stress them a little bit. We'll maybe pull on their ears or pull on their tail a little bit, the way a child may do, or someone with dementia, and just to make sure that they're not going to bite somebody. But it's a pretty simple test. It takes maybe 15 minutes to have the test and go over the paperwork. And then once they are tested, then they will go on 3 observed visits. And 2 of those have to be in a hospital type environment. So normally I do those at a nursing home, but the other one can be, we go to Wings or to Benton House, wherever we're invited.
Angels in Flight.
We go to Angels in Flight in Wrightsville. So wherever we're going, I try to schedule in the visits then.
Now these dogs seem like they are professionally trained. I mean, do you is there like a training, like a regimen that they have to go through?
I would say most of the dogs probably have a little obedience training, either taught in a class or by the owner. They have to really, we require them to walk at our side because it would be dangerous if they were running out in front of us. Some of them can do obedience tricks. They can I say obedience tricks. They do obedience routines, maybe come, sit, stay. Or we have several that do the tricks that are very entertaining for people. We have one in our group that dances. So
that dances.
So we have try to be entertaining, and I like to use dogs that you don't normally see, because then, you know, that opens up the lines of communication. What kind of dog is that? Why do you have that dog? What does it do? Or, you know, things like that. So.
And, you know, and you know, you and I had talked a while back, and I said, you know, I grew up on a farm, Cheryl, but I have a phobia of dogs. And you brought Thor, of all dogs, up to me. This dog was tall as I am.
Well,
you just kind of threw me in. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. Now, Thor's probably the sweetest, most gentle dog. He's considered a giant breed, and then we have Buttons, who's a teeny tiny little dog. So we like to have a variety when we go places. I prefer a big dog because I don't have to carry him. And he's like bed high. When we go to a nursing home, he can go right in and put his head on the bed, and I don't even have to pick his feet up.
How sweet is that? Now, you've gone into a lot of different places here. Can you think of an incident or a time or place that was most memorable for you that you could share?
I can tell you my very first therapy dog visit, which was, it's actually been written about in magazines, so it was pretty. It's funny, but it was one I will never forget. When I first became involved in therapy dogs, I worked through a hospice, and I had gone through my testing, and the lady from the hospice called me at work, and she said, I need for you to do something special for me. And I said, I'll be glad to. And she said, well, I have a patient who has dementia, and she thinks that snakes are biting her. So every night she'll be screaming in her bed and keeping the nursing home up all night long. So I want you to come and tell her that you are a snake hunter and that you're going to get rid of the snakes in her room. Well, at that time I had a big black standard poodle.
Yeah.
And so, and this was also the time when the show was on about the guy that was going to all the places with the wild animals. So I said, well, I really don't know how to dress for snake hunting, but I put on leather chaps.
Leather chaps, that's good for snake hunting.
Because I didn't want to get bitten. No, they were just leather. But I got a burlap bag and and a stick. Because I was going to poke.
You're going to trap the snakes.
I'm going to snake and put them in the bag.
Gotcha.
So, and then I had a spike collar for Chance, my standard poodle. So, and he looked pretty ferocious anyway, because I kept his hair in a mohawk. He didn't look like your everyday standard poodle. So we went into the facility. We were met at the door by the doctors, the nurses, and the hospice coordinator, and they took us back to this lady's room, and I didn't hear anything. I walked in the room. It was a little tiny lady curled up in the bed, and they said, "Miss Jessie, the snake hunter's here." And Miss Jessie opened her eyes and she looked at me and she said, "You're going to get rid of the snakes?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." And I said, "Where are the snakes coming from?" She said, "From the river outside my window." Of course, there was no river outside her window, but she thought there was. And I said, "Are there any snakes in your room right now?" And she said, "Yes, they're everywhere."
Everywhere.
And I said, "Okay." So I had some treats in my bag, and I broke up the pieces of the treats, and I dropped them all around the room, and I took Chance's leash off, and I said, "Chance, go get the snakes." And of course he ran around the room eating the treats, but she said, "Oh my gosh, he's eating the snakes." And I said, "Yes, ma'am, he is." And we rolled back her mattress, and he went under her bed. He went everywhere around her room. I said, "Miss Jessie, I don't think there are any more snakes." And she said, "No, they're not." And I gave her a little poodle, Beanie Baby poodle. And I said, "Now, I want you to keep this on your pillow as a warning to any other snakes that might come through the window, that the snake dog will get them." Wow. And she said, "Okay." And as I was walking out the room, she said, "I thank God for that snake-eating dog." And they wrote this on her chart. Oh my God. And they were to remind her, if she ever saw any more snakes, they were to remind her that no, the snake dog came and got them. But she never saw another snake. Wow. And Chance and I continued to see her until she died. But as her dementia progressed, she said that he was her doctor. And when people would come in the room, she'd introduce Chance, "This is my doctor." But she knew that he had helped her, and she loved him very much, and he loved her.
How amazing was that story? It
was a
so touching.
It was a big start for my career.
I would have liked to have seen you as in your garb as the snake hunter.
Well, that was 15 years ago. I don't wear
leather
chaps anymore.
Did you retire your leather chaps?
Well, we retired on motorcycles, so yeah.
That is so wonderful. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is an indicator of how important pup therapy is and how beneficial it is for the lives of others.
Well, thank you. And we do feel like we do. Every time we go on a visit, I might say, "Oh, I wish I didn't have to go," or "It's hot outside." But every visit we go on, something happens to make us feel like, well, that was worthwhile. I'm glad I went.
And that's the blessing. That's when you know that you're doing something right. And so what other message do you want to make sure the people out there know about what you do and how important it is and how you need the community involvement?
I do need volunteers. There's so many places that will call and say, "Can you come and visit? We need somebody to come and visit." And I have to say no, because we have scheduled visits now, and if I don't have the people to go, I cannot commit us to go on a visit. So we're hoping that in the fall that we're going to start a program at one of the schools. We have a Pause for Reading program where the children who don't read well get to come out of their classroom and read to a therapy dog. And practice makes perfect. So we're hoping that we can get some more volunteers so that we can put this into some of the schools.
That is going to be so awesome.
Yeah, we feel like it is.
You know, if I start my own drama therapy practice, I might have to get a therapy pup.
All right.
I just can't be afraid of it.
That's right. Well, we'll start small.
I know. No, we can't start with Thor.
Okay, we'll start with buttons.
Well, listen, so ladies and gentlemen, you know, we do hope that you understand what Cheryl's talking about, how important it is, the wonderful stories that she shared. And we're going to talk with some of the residents here at Benton House about their experience today with the Therapy Pups. And I'm sure they're going to have some wonderful stories for you all as well.
I hope so.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Miss Cheryl. Thank you so much, Cheryl, for everything that you're doing for us and for this community.
Thank you for having us.